One of the things I wanted to touch on was with the little girls and kind of how does, it's one thing to say you have confidence and have this and do that, but you're right. What does that look like for a young girl? What does it mean? One of the ways that I try to work, and I'm sure that you women can definitely relate, is that I ask, we ask them questions. You got to get them talking. You got to get them communicating. So I ask questions. I do this passion session with young girls. And at first I have them, stand up, and no one can talk in a low voice. You have to stand up and you have to stand tall and you have to tell me who you are and tell me what you love to do. And more than half the time, 90% of the time, they're actually revealing their passions and don't even realize it. Yeah. So then we'll take that passion and say, this is something you love to do. Would you do it whether you got paid or not? Yes. How often would you, how many times a day, or how often would you do it? If I could do it all day long, I would do it. Okay, so then that's a passion. And then show them, let me tell you what you can do with this passion. Let's say your passion is writing. I don't know, why did I choose writing? I don't know. But anyway, let's say your passion is writing. If you love passion and you love fashion, you can write for a fashion magazine. But these are things that are not really exposed to them. But if we just take that and then nurture it, and you let me get that one little, inkling of this is it, and then just nurture it, and I'm telling you, they will be amazing women and men.
Well, we need to have more workshops. Sorry to cut you off. No. I think we need to have more workshops in schools and organizations coming to work with students and parents, because if they're not getting it at home.
Well, and sometimes I think, the thing about not getting it at home is sometimes, moms stay home with their kids, and so maybe they're not sure how to get that out there. There is nothing wrong with women who choose to stay home. I can't.
I was a stay-at-home mom for 3.5 years.
Listen,
and it was the best experience of my life and my daughter's life.
We all know so many people who do it. It is way harder than what I do every day. Way harder.
It's brutal.
And they are forming our next generation. I mean, every day, 24/7. But maybe too, like you're saying, is that have them give resources to the moms. Like, you want to bring your daughter, do they know that you have this workshop? Because if she can't bring her to work to show her like you can with your daughter, where can she bring her? What can she do to say, listen, if you want to stay home and have children one day, that's fine, but you should know the whole world is open to you.
Exactly.
And so that people really feel that nothing's forced on anyone. And I don't know that, young people, especially girls, know that.
I feel like they just give up, they just these are the cards that were given to me.
Exactly.
Or they're talked into going into, the safe, professions
Just
by their guidance counselor.
Well, you know what?
Be an accountant, be a doctor, you'll always have a job.
Right.
And
But let me tell you though, but you know what happens
too? What you love.
Right.
But you know what happens too? If it's in you, it's going to come out. Let me give you my little story. When I was 1 year old, when I was in kindergarten and first grade, and the teacher asked us what we wanted to be when we grew up. And I said at 6 years old that I wanted to be a cosmetologist. Now, I don't know where I even heard that word. I don't even understand why I said that, but I said it and it died. That was it. I said it, right? And this is the way the universe works, is that years later, over 30 years later, these two women that I knew always liked the way I wore my makeup. And then they said, could you just teach us how to do makeup? And I was like, I blew them off because I didn't take it seriously because it just came easy to me, right? And then I actually showed them how to do makeup, and they said, you should do that. You should be a makeup artist, just like that. So even though sometimes you may not have gotten it at home to automatic, or your parents didn't tell you, sometimes if it's in you, people will draw it out of you.
Do you see that how you needed that encouragement?
But that's what I'm saying. People sometimes, even though you may not have heard it from home or somewhere, it's just the way the world works. Someone will bring it out of you, and that's what happened to me.
You have to be ready to accept it. You have to.
You
could have said, no, I'm not good at it, or whatever.
Or it's too hard.
Or it's too hard, or I don't want to change careers, or I don't know where to get started. Or
exactly. Oh yeah, because I started in the game, like the age I started is like almost ancient for people starting, makeup, but I did it and it worked out.
And let's talk about that. We're talking about young girls, but I was someone who changed my whole life at 29. I was almost 30 before I left a corporate job that I had been in almost 10 years, and it's very, very scary. Sometimes it's that concept of, you're too far in to get out. And I meet people on a daily basis, at the store up in Midtown that say constantly, I just don't know where I would even begin to change. They're in these jobs where they're making a living, but they're not living. They're just existing.
Well, that's the whole
they're
thing.
existing through it, and it's never too late.
On that note, I felt like now, the life I have now as a writer and doing something I absolutely love, I would do in my sleep, which I do sometimes do in my sleep. Or I feel like the last, 7 years, I feel like when I realized my passion, that I started living on a whole different level. That's when life started for me.
And I think it's really important to put that out to people. That doesn't mean there won't be sacrifice. It doesn't mean it won't be difficult. Yes,
I
but
preach the sacrifice,
honey,
all the time.
you know,
yes,
and so
absolutely.
people have to be. They definitely have to be accountable. You know, that they have to be willing to do it and sacrifice and make the choice. But it's never too late. It's totally worth it every time. Everybody here, I'm sure, would say it's worth it.
Short-term sacrifice for the long-term goal.
That's what I love that. I mean, I'm just gonna, wrap it up by saying that that's the whole key. It's never too late. Whether you're 20, 30, if you're breathing, you have a chance. 70, while you're still breathing, even if you're from a hospital bed, you can still make a difference in someone's life. Okay, so that's the Jane B Show. We talked about girl power today, releasing your inner power, and we hope we encouraged you to just release what's ever on the inside out, okay? So until the next time, you can check us out at thejanebshow.com.